मुझे क्या पता।
Srividya, are we live?
Yes, we are live now. I'll just make you the host again.
देख रहे उसको? अरे देखना उसको ओपन करके एक बार।
गद्दे पे चलाओ।
बीनी पोहाने खाएगी?
Good evening, sir.
हाँ केले।
Good evening.
Good evening, good evening, sir.
Who is Amrita Rajpal?
Amrita Rajpal is Rekha ma'am's friend, and we have got her account.
Okay.
Yeah.
पांच वाला खाइए। पानी निकाल। एक गिलास और दिया ना? मैं थोड़ा थोड़ा आपको बताऊंगा। एक बार मैंने गीला होगा। ओमेगा 3 से फैट लूज होता है बहुत। ओमेगा 3 से फैट लूज होता है बहुत। हेलो हेलो
Good evening, Anna.
Good evening, Mr. Zagade.
Good evening. May I know who's
Good evening,
speaking?
Mahesh.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, sir. Good evening, Raja sir. Good evening, all.
Good evening. Good evening to everyone.
Am I audible, please? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Should we start?
Okay.
Yeah. Sejal?
Hello. Hello, sir. Hello. Hello. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Just a second.
Sejal?
Yes, sir. Now I am audible. Hello. Hello. Hello, sir. Hello. Hello. Hello, sir. Now I am audible.
Yes, you are audible, Sejal.
Can I start, ma'am?
Yeah, please, please.
Please start.
Hi and good evening to all. I am your host for today's webinar. Myself, Sejal Jadhav, a campus ambassador of PCGT and NSS volunteer of VK Krishna Menon College. I would like to welcome the trustee of PCGT, Mrs. Anna Saldana, and our today's guest speaker, Mr. Mahesh Zagade. All leaders of PCGT, respected principal of VK Krishna Menon College, Mrs. Saroj Fadnis, respected NSS Program Officer Dr. Gomti Sridhar and Dr. Sunita Kek, all PCGT campus ambassadors, all NSS volunteers of various colleges, and other participants. The Public Concern for Governance Trust (PCGT) was founded by the late Mr. B.G. Deshmukh, former Cabinet Secretary to the Government of India, Mr. Julio Reparo, the former Mumbai Police Commissioner and Director General of Police Punjab, and Dr. R.K. Anand, pediatrician, former Director of Jaslok Hospital, in order to strive for good governance in the city of Mumbai. Public Concern for Governance Trust (PCGT) has initiated the Youth for Governance, that is YFG, program to sensitize youth on issues of governance and to develop the leadership skills, especially in public activities. It provides a platform for youth to collectively question, discuss, and initiate action on related issues. Youth for Governance program aims at changing the student perspective towards ethical conduct in whatever professional they finally opt for in government or private sector. YFG has various programs like RTI program, PCGT dialogues, and good governance campaigns that mobilize youth and promote issues of governance, sexual harassment, eve teasing, and emerging social concern of the contemporary world. The PCGT dialogues are followed with series of interactive sessions with eminent personalities with a great social conscience. Youth for Governance programs help to build the student perspective towards ethical conduct and responsible citizenship. Now, I request the principal of VK Krishna Menon College, Mrs. Saroj Pandit, to say a few words.
Good evening to one and all. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good evening to one and all. Today's guest speaker, Mr. Mahesh Jagdeji, Mr. Rodrigues, Mrs. Anna, authorities from Public Concern for Governance Trust, our NSS Program Officer, Dr. Mrs. Gomati, Dr. Mrs. Sunita, staff, and my dear students and participants. I'm extremely happy to be amongst you all today. I must thank authorities of the trust for collaborating with us in organizing today's webinar. Our topic is really a very good topic. Our college is known for discipline and quality education. Our HSC results are between 95 to 100 percentage of passing, whereas our undergraduate and postgraduate results are 85 to 98%, which speaks about the quality of education imparted by the institution. Our NSS unit has been very strong since inception. Last 30 years, our NSS volunteers have been working very hard and organizing various activities for the society under the able guidance of program officers. Now, the whole world is facing pandemic. We all are at home. Still, due to technological development, we are studying, appearing for the examination, organizing, participating in various activities. I appreciate the efforts taken by our NSS volunteers and program officer. We all are eager to hear Mr. Jagdeji, and I'm sure that we all will get a lot of information at the end of the session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving forward, now I would like to welcome Mrs. Anna Saldana. Anna Saldana, ma'am, is by profession an interior architect with her own practice of 25 years. She believes that people can make a difference in life, whatever their profession. She is a strong stand for inclusion and secularism and committed to inspiring young people to be responsible citizens. She works actively in the Youth for Governance vertical of PCGT on projects that give college students a platform to develop their leadership skills. She has been a long-time volunteer at various NGOs. Now, I request to Anna ma'am to share her views.
Thank you, Sejal. Um, so, Mrs. Fadnis, Mr. Zagde, I see Mr. Raja is here, and Mrs. Puri is here, and welcoming. What I really am here for is to tell you that it is a great privilege for PCGT to have a platform on which to make a difference. So I am the trustee directly accountable for the working of the Youth for Governance vertical of PCGT. And I think already Sejal has explained what PCGT is. Our goal is very simple. We exist to fight communalism, corruption, and discrimination and injustice of any sort, and to use and to demand this as civil society, as our due, as enshrined in our constitution, and that our government will give us this. And this is the awareness that we set out to create in young people. And when, madam, a college like yours, which gives quality education, will tie up with us, this is when we will actually be able to have a platform on which to create this small army of responsible citizens. So in India, we have a very young population. And this population is like a gold mine of a resource. And this is what all of you on this screen, I can only see names. Sadly, I suppose it's because of poor Wi-Fi and connectivity, but a lot of people don't have their videos on. Uh, but now we have all gotten used to speaking to blank black squares with names on them. But I'm speaking to each and every one of you to tell you that it is, you really say something when you come here to hear about what you, each of you can do to make a difference and to create a world that works for everybody. A world that has no corruption, no communalism, no discrimination, and what you can do about it. And so I hand this over to Mr. Zagde. Cannot think of a better person who would be delivering to you and inspiring you in exactly what he is also a trustee of PCGT. And thank you very much, Mr. Zagde, for being here and for
Thank you.
inspiring all these young people. Thank you very much.
Should I
Thank
start
you,
now?
Yes. No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can I start now? Thank you for everyone and Mrs. Anna Saldana ji, Mrs. Padani's principal, Mr. Raja, and all the trustees and the members of PCGT and my student friends. I'm really honored to interact with the students, and as Mrs. Padani said, that we are going to get a lot of information. I think I'm dampening the spirit because I'm not going to give any information. Normally, I don't give any information, any knowledge, because that's already available in the public domain or in the textbooks. I'm slightly, my way of interacting with the student community is slightly different. May not be a very traditional one. Many people may not like it, but that's the way I try to interact with the students. First thing is that let me congratulate the PCGT and both the colleges and their management for at least flagging this particular topic, that is industrialization versus social welfare. Not too many people these days talk about this. There are too many other like upcoming issues. They talk on this, but these are the basic things which normally are not scratched under the surfaces. They remain there, and we just take these such things for granted. So I believe that the young minds would start at least thinking on these topics, and I'm sure that both the colleges may be having such interactions with many other speakers also. I am not going to, as I said earlier, impart any knowledge, but I am going to set a narrative, very simple narrative for critical thinking and reflective thinking amongst the minds of those people, those students who are attending today. What is technology and what it has done to us as humanity, what it is going to do, and what is its relevance to social welfare in general and India in particular. So this is the thing. I'm not going to go down into the textbook kind of knowledge of what technology involves and what social welfare and what it has done and how we have come so far. But we need to reflect upon how technology has started and what is its relevance with us and what social welfare. So technology, as everyone knows, is defined that anything that like technique, skill, methods or processes used in making goods or services is a technology. That's a broad definition normally given everywhere. And social welfare is like right from the days of Mahajanpad in Rigveda to Roman Empire, and even before that also like the city-states, anything that is provided by the state to alleviate problems of the people, especially have-nots, like to give the basic provisions like food, shelter, and clothing. That is the basic thing, that is social welfare. So that sums it all. But technology today, what we normally see is, what is technology? Like we talk about the computers and then rockets and then like electricity and all these gadgets say metros and everything. That's what we perceive that this is the technology. But the technology is not as like what we perceive. Technology is slightly, it has got deeper roots, and my student friends should reflect upon this. What are these roots of technology? Technology, the definition which I have given you, that is a textbook definition. But according to me, my personal definition of technology is like beyond 2000 kilocalories. Listen to me carefully. What is beyond 2000 kilocalories? A human being needs about 1700 to about 3000 kilocalories per day for survival. Like every creature on this planet requires some amount of energy for sustenance. Maybe a tiger requires some energy per day, or a bacterium requires some energy per day. Like that, human beings also requires about 1700 to 3000 calories, let's say calories per day. Now, that is the basic of survival and basic of relevance why nature has created us, created every creature. Anything beyond this, if any individual or any creature or any animal or plant species that consumes more energy than this is the use of technology. Just try to sink in this idea. That is the thing, that this is the energy, more energy. Now, when tiger was like, it started emerging from his predecessor, or for that matter, gorilla started emerging from its predecessor when it was evolved. Since then till today, about say crores of years, they are consuming the same energy as a food till today. Have you ever seen that a tiger earlier was using say 4,000 calories of food every day, and today it is consuming about 10,000? No. Or a bacterium, say about 3,380 crores of years ago, when it was first prokaryotes emerged on this planet, they were consuming about 0.5 calorie per day, and today they are consuming about 10 calories per day. No, it's not that. But human beings, we about 25 to 30 lakh years ago, when we started as human beings, we were consuming about, say for example, now as an average 2000 calories of energy. But over a period of time, then we started using fire. Then we started using shelter. For that shelter also we need energy. Then of course clothing and everything. And today everything needs energy. So whatever externality apart from this 2000 basic is all technology. And in fact, this technology has helped not just for making of life very comfortable, but it has also helped in evolution. Unlike other animals, say gorilla or chimpanzees, they never use any technology, or technology did not help them. But technology definitely helped human beings for evolution. Like earlier, when we were in jungles about when our ancestors, 6.1 crores of years ago, gorillas and apes and primates first appeared, they were having very small, minuscule kind of brain it developed. And pre-modern human, the brain was about 1,000 grams or less than that. That was because whatever the energy that we were eating, that energy was required for, again, the digestion. But when the fire was controlled and the fire started pre-cooking the food, the energy wasted in cooking, digestion of food in our stomach was saved, and that energy was transferred to brains. And that's how then brains started growing. And today, as you know, our brain size is more than 1.5 kgs. So this fire, it means this use of control fire, use of our tools, maybe spears made out of stones or other tools, they help us in getting very good nourishment, so that the brain started getting more and more energy. And because of that, then whatever time we have traversed till today, that is because of the use of technology, and it started with fire. So technology is not just like what we are seeing here today around us, and I'm talking to you on through this particular medium is part of technology, but technology dates back to about, say, 25 lakh to 30 lakh years ago. Since then, it is there, and then it is just journey. Technology progressed as the humanity also progressed. But technology about 12,000 years ago, 12 to 15,000 years ago, before that we were just hunter-gatherers. We used to hunt animals or gather food. That was how it was. But about 12,000 years ago, one woman, she thought that to go every day in the jungle to gather food or catch animal is not a good life. So she thought of having agriculture, domestication of plants. That was the technology. Domestication of plant or starting of agriculture was the first mass use of technology about 2,000 years ago. That changed the face of this planet. First was fire, and second was this. So the technology evolved. One thing you must have noticed, that this evolution use of technology that time was same for everyone. Like say anybody part of that society, technology was same. So the welfare of any person, maybe a member of tribe, if he is using fire, anybody else can use a fire. If I am doing agriculture, anybody else can do agriculture. So to serve my basic needs, for my welfare, as a welfare of human being, technology was free and technology was not restricted in few hands. This went on for too long, till say around, of course, there are too many stages how it evolved, but because of paucity of time, I'm not dealing into all these things because it's very interesting. Although it's very interesting, you can read it, how the technology evolved and how it started separation. It's a separation from the societies, and how social welfare became separated from technology. Otherwise, they were together. Technology used to be the same like social welfare. It used to be welfare for all, but it started different. About 500 years ago, when the scientific thought and scientific inquiries and scientific use of scientific inventions and discoveries really took shape, then the technology really separated the societies between haves and have-nots. That's how it started. We'll come to it later on. But one thing is there, that it took about more than 6 crores of years where the technology migrated with the evolution as, like universal thing. There was no separation. Both were the same, like technology used everybody. But 500 years ago, and especially 200 years ago, when the industrialization started, technology started differing between those people who make use of technology and those who are deprived of technology. And for this deprivation of technology, we need social welfare today. Social welfare is like provision of basic necessities by the state or the government. And that's how this is the legacy of last 200 years. If you take the case of just India, and if you traverse time a little bit, say about 2000 years, India was the economic superpower of the world for about 2000 years, even more than that. But we have to dig deeper down into to understand that also. But at least for last 2000 years, we were superpower, economic superpower, say until the time of say Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb was the richest emperor on this planet, having his revenue collection equivalent to the combined revenue collection of entire Europe, or the 10 times the revenue collection of Louis XIV. So we were, before the industrialization, before the use of technology, Indians were probably the pioneer in being in the arena of being economic power. That was not technologically driven. So technology was for India before 200 years ago, before the advent of industrialization. We were superpower. The social welfare was not as much needed as a subject or the topic for the king as it is today or for last 200 years. So as a history, technologically, we were not dependent on for the social welfare of the people. But there is another interesting point that till before 200, the advent of the modern industrial revolution 200 years ago, India accounted for the highest GDP coming from the industrial products also, like say be it silk or muslin or steel or shipbuilding. We accounted for more than 25% of the world's industrial production that is technology driven. So India was also the pioneer in industrial products 200 years ago before Britishers came here. So one thing you must keep in mind, India, before the industrialization, we were the pioneer in all the spheres of economy, be it the agriculture or be industries or technology. So if you consider this country prior to 200 years or 250 years ago, then you will come to know that social welfare was not needed at all, because the society was weaved into such a manner that everybody was supported by the system itself, and king wasn't in the picture to support the society. It was weaved in such a manner. I will just give you one indication how it is done. It was how it is relevant. Today we are talking about COVID-19, like there was Black Death, or there was a Great Bengal famine, so many famines, especially Great Bengal famines and all that. We know these famines are recorded from the days of Britishers. But prior to that, there must be famines. Even if there were famines, they were provided by the society. So there wasn't requirement, people did not die. Have you ever read anywhere that Indians died in large numbers before British came to India? No, because the social welfare was integral part of the societal support system, therefore. And that's how there is a demarcation line before Britishers came to India and then after Britishers came to India. So technology was used by Indians. Technology was integral part of Indian culture, and it also was very much weaved into the societal support system. So the social welfare was not required to be highlighted. But unfortunately, as all of you know, what happened when Britishers came in fact, East India Company, not the British Crown initially, and they started deindustrialization of this country. Too many things happened. Our GDP went down. In fact, the muslin and the silk and the even shipbuilding, steel manufacturing, everything went down drastically. Our supremacy in the world, it also went down, and we were left as a ruin in the this thing. So in fact, 90% of the people in India were below poverty line when we got independence. The 70% only were literate. So devastation of 200 years also did bifurcation of use of technology for social welfare. So social welfare was like, impressed that the social welfare should become the subject of government only. People should depend on government. So Indian culture historically, or Indian society historically, was not so dependent on the king or dependent on the government for its welfare or basic necessities. This we must keep in mind, and this is the unique example across the globe in history. Indian people were never dependent on social welfare. But today, if you see today's scenario, and you know what it is, I need not tell you. You have to understand yourself where we stand. If you take the Human Development Index, if we take the Gini's coefficient, which is 0.83, that means disparity. Then, of course, if you take the health, we are 46th in the world. So, too many parameters are there that if you compare the world, then probably have-nots or deprived communities are in large numbers in this country, and therefore we need government needs to support Indian community today. Of course, it is there for last many decades, but a country that was not dependent on technology for social welfare because it was integral part of the societal weave is now required to depend on technology for support of for the social welfare. Does technology help Indians? Rest of the world will not discuss much about it. More or less, they are the same. But does technology support the social welfare? Now, social welfare for this country is not like anybody's choice. It is given there in the directive principles. And if you read that chapter, directive principles, although these are not justiciable, but nonetheless, they shall. It is mandatory on the part of the governments to make use of these provisions, and which are the provisions for social welfare, like economic equality, provision of basic necessities, equality before law. Too many things are there. So society everybody has to be very happy, in a nutshell. And that's how the mandate is given to all the governments across the country, that this has to be there. Now, whether that mandate is fulfilled or not fulfilled, how it is to be fulfilled, today we talk about like a direct benefit transfers and Narega and Great Garibi Hata program, and there were too many programs in the all across the country running for last 70 years through 5-year plans and annual plans and all that. And these are all technology driven. Let me here tell you one more thing. Social welfare isn't the social welfare that is there in the textbook anymore. Social welfare, like provision of basic necessities like your food, shelter, and clothing. No. Today, we are exposed to the entire world, and social welfare doesn't stop there. What social welfare is, we start comparing what my counterpart in US is having, what my counterpart in Mumbai is having, what my counterpart in Delhi is having. So everybody start comparing. So social welfare is like, it's not that even if I'm given with the food or shelter or clothing, I'm happy. No. I also start comparing somebody else is having so much luxury of goods, so much luxury of having too many things for comfort, but I am not having. So today the social welfare doesn't stop just like provision of basic necessities, but it has now migrated, elevated to the level that others like I should be comparable in terms of the provisions that are there in terms of comfort. Now, if you talk about the per capita income of Indians, maybe about around $1,800 to $2,000, in America, $63,000 per annum. So, if you compare that, like this is the we are well fed, but we start comparing that our per capita income is not as much. So, the dimension of social welfare is now changing, and changing with the changing times. Here, I would like to digress a little bit then what is going to happen in the future about for the technology and the social welfare? Technology is developing with a very fast pace. What is the pace? Now, if you consider that the time taken by the seniors, where we are there today, like say a Big Bang happened and the universe was created, and then on then up to 2nd of September, if you take away 1 year's time span and compare with that, 2nd of September, this Earth was created, and 24th of September, life was created, and all these things, and then evolution started progressing. So the lifespan started on 24th of September to December 31st. It went on. But the speed has now taken, in the scientific field, technological field has now is increasing day by day. The progress that has happened in technological terms that we all see is in last 2 seconds. If you compare the 1 year as the life of the planet, it's just 2 seconds. And it has happened really in the last 1 second that the use of electricity and the use of internal combustion machine and electronics, medicine, genetics, all these things have happened in less than 1 second if you compare the timeline. So I want to emphasize here that the pace of progress of technology is humongous, is tremendous. And young minds like you should understand this pace is increasing day by day. No, it is increasing minute by minute. So the pace of increasing technology is increasing, but is it bringing any good to everyone? Pace is there today. In fact, earlier when John F. Kennedy said that we will put man on moon, that was the government. But today, even private entrepreneurs are sending people in the orbit or outside the Earth, planet Earth, Elon Musk or similar such people. So today, it is not helping, this technology is not helping everyone. Technology, for your information, has now become technopolis. It is like technocracy. Like democracy, it has become technocracy. So technology is now has gone into the hands of very few people. Very few people, like say less than 1% on this planet. And rest 99% people, they look at helplessly at how the technology is helping in getting money out of this development of technology. So social welfare at one point of time is like threatened to be like whether the remaining population, especially like developing countries like Indians, will have a population which will be dependent on the sops given by the people who control technology. Today, technology, like take it Google or take it Microsoft, take it anybody in the world, Amazon, everyone back home like Reliance or Adani's, Tata's, and everyone. They are now controlling the technology. So the technology control, even pharmaceutical companies also. So these technological companies now are beyond the realms of governance. They actually have the control over the economic system of the world. Now they would decide what welfare of people has to be like. They are driven by collection of money, lot of money, humongous amount of money, disproportionate to their investment, and therefore it has become like a magnet that is attracting entire wealth from the people in very few hands. And technology is driving this. This is being done through technology. Now, our topic is that technology versus social welfare. Technology is there for social welfare. In fact, after World War II, technology has given too many jobs to the middle class. It has created employment. It has lifted a large population above poverty line. It has done too good, and it has increased our lifespan. Say 32 years of average lifespan before independence, it is now 68, 69. It has helped. But whether this run of helping technology for social welfare will continue or will remain like that is now questionable, because with the advent of fourth industrial revolution, because of algorithm, because of too many technology, artificial intelligence, genomics, and all these things, jobs are going to go down. And therefore, the automation, the technology is likely to steal the jobs of masses. I'm not saying this. This is a World Economic Forum, and many others are saying this. And therefore, technology, which was helping humanity for social welfare, could be anathema of the masses in the future. And then now economists are thinking about, if this happens, then universal basic income would be required to be supported or brought into the governance system for social welfare. This is going to be a very dark time. It will only mean that people, very few people will be there as a providers, and the remaining mass population will be dependent for their welfare on few providers like large corporations, companies, or mega companies, and the government will be just a tool to watch at it. This is a very serious issue that is developing. The technology is now whether it is going to help the sustenance. Yes, it is going to sustain, but through different models like dependency of people on the technological resources created by technology. That itself means like it could be a scenario like subjugation by technology of the masses. This we have to watch. I must tell you that, is there any solution to this? You students, you're the future. You need to think over this, and there is definite solution, and the solution will come from the leadership across the world, leadership in the country, leadership at the community level, leadership at the society level, that technology should not overpower the people, but people should be benefited from each and every aspect of technology, and not that it would usurp all the wealth that is there. In fact, technology is now migrating into such a beyond such a horizon that it will itself is going to overpower the societies through technology, like say blockchains and all these things. They are going to overpower entire spheres of economies, and therefore to control this, we need to, and to put the again it in right perspective, we need to have right thinking leadership all across the world, not just in India. India is not enough. All across the world, we need to have people to control use of this technology. And I'm saying control use of technology. I call it techno policy or technocracy, right? A democracy. It needs to be roped in. It needs to be controlled in such a manner that it helps masses, and the Gini's coefficient migrates towards zero, rather than it is going towards one. That disparity of income, disparity of income inequality, not just in India but all across the world, it minimizes. Otherwise, the technology is one such a force, especially vulnerable like countries like India. We are at the loggerheads where the technology is helping very few people to garner larger chunk of incomes. And therefore, if you want to have a really good future, bright future, a stable society bereft of any conflicts, we need to have roping in, control of technology, and this technological control would come if young mind like you start thinking on this. And therefore I said that I'm not going to give you any information. I'm going to just set a narrative for reflection on what I am saying. You don't have to really believe me. Therefore, you have to be critical whether whatever I said is right or wrong. But unfortunately, nowadays we stop thinking as much. Like there could be a different, there could be other side of thinking also. We normally lap at the whatever is told to us. So you must examine whatever I said is also right, or there could be different view on this also. So, but today we should start a chain reaction of debate on this thing, whether the technology is going to do any good to have a very cohesive society, or it is going to it is creating a society with conflicts. society that would, social welfare would mean dependency on those who are having a lot of money back. So this is the time that Indians should wake up and wake up to create leadership that they understand that technology should not be a tool to create wages in the society, but it should be a tool to create a very cohesive society based on the equal opportunities, society based on less of income inequalities, and a society that provides happiness to all. That's what I wanted to say. I tried to sum up in very short time. It's a very large topic, but if you have any specific questions, I think my time is up. I've transgressed 10 minutes time more. If you have any questions or any discussions or your counterpoints, you are most welcome.
Thank you, sir, for the informative session. Now I request to Dipti to take over the question and answer session.
Thank you, sir, for this informative talk. Now we start our question and answer session. So the first question is, what are new ways people can use technology to change the world?
First thing is that, as I said earlier also, now here the course is now set. The technology is going to overpower even human thinking also. If you go deeper down, because of cognitive analytics and too many other such aspects that are developing, technology one day could change your mindset, change your choices, change your thinking processes. So we have to have some strategy to make use of this technology in a controlled manner. So unless and until we do this thing, unless and until we have some set of rules all across the world, we cannot really beat this thing. And therefore, technology is one such tool that can really bring solace to everyone, that can bring happiness to everyone. But provided then it has to be used that way. Otherwise, it will be left alone, or if it is left uncontrolled, then it would create chaotic situations in the society, not too in the distant future, but very soon, if the technology develops in the manner or the trajectory that it is developing today. Therefore, the basic mantra that everyone should keep in mind: technology does help, it has helped, it is history for upgrading the human life. But if left uncontrolled, then it could be, it would create a chaotic future.
Thank you, sir. So the next question is, how will technology change our lives in 20 years?
See, that's a good question. In fact, technology, we have started, kick-started the fourth industrial revolution, and probably this is the last industrial revolution, because next industrial revolution will not be there, because we will be changed transport completely. We will not remain probably human beings also. We are going to be the shortest lived human species compared to our 5-6 other cousins like human, Homo neanderthals or all these things. We are going to be shortest because of the fourth industrial revolution technologies like artificial intelligence, cognitive analytics, and more importantly, merger of biological and physical. Like first watershed year, first big change happened on this planet was 380 crores years ago when life was found. Now, second such event is coming now. It is merging biological and physical. And therefore, in next 20 years or 30 years, this planet will be completely different. You will not see that this was the same planet that humans roamed on this planet earlier. So it is going to be changed that far. Nobody would believe this, but this changes so fast. I will just give just one example. Today we are talking about all COVID-19. And everybody is talking about vaccine, development of vaccine, and everybody is eagerly waiting. But nobody is looking at the technology that is getting developed for this. The technology that is recombinant DNA technology that is now getting developed, the different forms of this technology, could also be a weapon to wipe out the entire humanity, because the technology that is going to create vaccine can also be used notoriously for deaths of billions of people. So this is like how we are going to use it. But the technology, this could also mean that there won't be any cancers, there won't be any ailments, there won't be anything like food. There will be plenty of food. Life will be very easy. In fact, according to some of the estimates, by 2045, death will be optional. Person will not die. You can live forever. So those kind of technology would also come. That is what it is. But then simultaneously, it is also going to be we are going to be the creatures driven by technology, not self-thinking, but the machines or some people controlling our own thinking process also, how we behave also. So, and then main important thing is about our jobs. Most of the jobs are going to be taken over by the technologies. Now, there will have to be a separate economy then. If the jobs are not there, a lot many trained people, lot many skilled people, but no jobs. It is going to be like a sea of people, jobless people. But then some economy will definitely emerge. For this, in fact, to avoid bad things and to promote good things, what I really feel is that young mind should at least understand this is going to happen. Nowadays, nobody talks about this. If you see the national debates on television or the academia, nobody talks about this. They talk about some very trivial matters, but not matters of the future. But at least students like you should start thinking on such serious issues. What is going to happen and how we can steer it into right direction. Good. Thank you for that question.
So the next question is, how can we change the way of teaching through technology to make it more effective?
See, technology is effective today. I mean, it's not, historically, technology wasn't or cannot be even better than this, what it is today. Technology is happening, like, say, for example, as I mentioned to you, like, say, genome. Just like we cut the shirt, how to stitch a shirt by a tailor, we have technology, Cas9 technology, CRISPR-Cas9 technology, where you can cut the genome and then make a different gene altogether, and then like this. So the technology is developing on its own, but you have to also think technology earlier was being developed in the arena of government. Today, technology has migrated out of the governance, out of the control. Today, anybody can make use of technology and can create anything. If it is good, well and good. But if it is put to bad use, like say, for example, you require a huge tonnage of your nuclear bomb also. And if the bomb that was dropped on Nagasaki in Japan and thousands of people died, it required tons of nuclear warhead. But today, what is the total, what is the weight of the COVID-19 or coronavirus that has infected and killed so many people? What could be the weight? It may not be even in grams also, few grams. So few grams of virus on this entire planet has created this havoc. If this technology goes in the hands of wrong people, then it would mean a very drastic impact, adverse impact on this planet. And therefore, there has to be control mechanism agreed upon by everyone, how to make use of this technology, how to make best use of this technology. And for that, as I said earlier, the leadership has to be the leadership that understands this, that has got capability to implement this understanding, and that has capability to foresee the future and how to steer it in the right direction.
Okay, sir. The next question is, what solutions do you suggest to bring technology to become uncontrolled? I think money, power, and resources are needed for cool movement of technologies.
Today, for development of money, power, and nothing is needed. So today, money flows like anything for technology development. Say now, vaccination. Now they are saying that even COVID vaccine, they are saying that so much, many hundreds of crores of will be required, and all these things. but money has already come in. Some people are developing it. So money pours in. It's like they exactly know how much profit they are going to make in. So for development of technology today, resources are not a constraint at all. Development technology is not restricted by anything. Development of technology is not restricted by even human mind also. In fact, today the machines have started taking development of technology forward. Like machine software are being now developed by machines themselves. So, for example, like in the biological thing, the genes, how genes could be altered, machine only can tell this thing. So these restrictions, like now traditionally, what we think about the restrictions are no more restrictions these days. What is the problematic is the how to control it. That is the only problem. Otherwise, money, knowledge, or the processes, these are not the restrictions.
Thank you, sir. So next question is in country like India, where population is on its peak, don't you take things so that technology is creating more jobless people?
As I told you earlier that the technology, first three industrial revolutions created lot many jobs. In fact, the entire world's GDP, that is about say $81 trillion, is fueled by technology. Of course, services also I consider them as a part of technology, and very small portion is non-technological thing. So the planet's economy is fueled, supported, and taken forward by technology. Now in India, the technologies are helping, and that has created too many jobs in the past also. Although we were not as much beneficiaries like Western world in the industrial sector or creation of jobs, but nonetheless we were also benefited. Now, as per your question, how these jobs that are going to be technology that are going to be sustained. Problem is that unlike earlier the three industrial revolutions, next industrial revolution that is going on now, that is fourth industrial revolution, is likely to set out a trend that there will be huge job losses. And country like India, where we have about more than 50% people dependent on non-technological jobs like agriculture, we consider that as a non-technological jobs. We cannot migrate them to technological this out of agriculture. Agriculture GDP is very small. Agriculture GDP may be around 15% or whatever the figures, I do not know current figures, maybe 15% of the GDP coming from agriculture, but more than 50% population is dependent on that. Now, with the fourth industrial revolution, the jobs in industry sector, the jobs in services sector is going to come down. Now, it will be very problematic for this country, like humongous, huge population, how to accommodate this agriculture dependent population in other sector where there is going to be job losses. And that's where the debate across the country should be centered about. That should be the debate number one. Nobody knows the solution to this. Nobody knows. I fail to understand how it should be done. And I believe that unless the country collectively discusses this, that how to, give employment to the dependency on agriculture. Now, for example, like I'll give USA. USA's only 1% population is dependent on agriculture, and 99% is on services and industry and all those things. But the GDP contribution of agriculture is also 1%. Here it is just converse, more dependency on agriculture and less of GDP. But we are like as happy, we don't consider, we're not bothered about these issues. So we need to sit together as a country and we have to find the solutions. There is no easy solution for this, and the coming days are going to be even more difficult. I have no solution for this.
Thank you, sir. The next question is how technological development will eradicate biasness and partiality of society.
What will eradicate what?
Biasness.
To come again?
BIASNESS.
Biasness.
Yes, sir.
And your voice is cracking, please. Like
how technological development will eradicate biasness and partiality of society.
See, technology has got too many facets, like biases and all these things are in fact, technology is neutral for all these things. But unfortunately, misuse of technology and which is happening too much. Too many biases are getting created under the nose of technology. So, for example, like, and I have these are all like open this thing source information. Like a president of one very large country, he tweeted more than 20,000 tweets which were fake, supposed to be fake, and this was carried by large newspaper in the Western world. See, the technology is being used to create biases. Technology is being used to pollute the minds. Technology is going to create fakes and deep fakes. Technology is being used, increasingly being used to sway the minds of people. So technology as of today is now being misused for creation of more biases, and we are succumbing to it. The world is succumbing to it. Now, we need to have sustained campaign right from the school education. Like for in California, they have inserted one chapter school, second standard or third standard, that how you should really check on the what is being circulated on social media and the print media and electronic media. You should not take what is coming as the gospel truth. So there has to be sustained campaign, realization that whatever is coming through technological transmission is always truth. So it's not, technology is not going to make use of it. See, tomorrow there could be some filters also, but these filters will also be nullified by further use of technology. So it will all depend on the personal belief that whatever I see, whatever is projected to me is not the gospel truth. I need to find out for myself. So there has to be beyond technology, as we are as humans. Sometimes we have to make use of our own sensibilities also to to counter the onslaught of the misuse of technology. So I would not depend on use of technology to minimize biases and whatever like is bringing it inside.
Now we have reached to the end of the question and answer session. The last question is, sir.
Yeah, please.
Is technology going to improve to help curing AIDS and help handicapped?
See, I'll tell you, the beauty of technology is that it has really helped in the past also, and it is going to help in the future also. Technology is really the thing that has transformed the health spectrum of people across the world. We normally do not see the pandemics earlier. Today, the pandemic is there, but then it is mostly, I would say, a challenge of administration rather than challenge of science or technology. That's not there. But it has really changed. And one thing that you must understand, that the life expectancy, take for example, India has gone up from 32 years to 68 to 69 years. Of course, there are many other factors also, but it is helping. And one day, as I told you earlier, cancers and all these things will be passed. Like, in fact, there are many technologies which you can harvest the placental tissues, regenerate organs in the future if you meet with an accident, or you can alter the color of your eyes, or you can change your intellect. So you can. So there are too many things. These are the superficial cosmetic things, but the misery coming because of the pathological things or the lifestyle diseases are going to get drastically minimized. And technology is definitely going to help. And therefore, as I said earlier, this is one good thing, or rather bad, I don't know. It is perceptual, everybody's perception, that according to some estimates by 2045, death will be optional. So definitely technology is going to help human beings in that sector also.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we have reached to the end of the question and answer session. I would like to request Sejal to take over the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Ritti, for read out the questions. Now, I request to our NSS program officer, Dr. Gomti Sridhar, to give her formal vote of thanks.
Okay. So I'm very delighted with this talk. It has been very fascinating, Mr. Zagde. I have been, glued to this throughout. I hope it has been enlightening to me, even though I'm a science teacher. I've been reading a lot, yet it has been fascinating. Your overview of the technology and its impact on the social scene has been very revealing. I hope that the students think about some of the questions that you have raised, and maybe they will, think about this and come up with their own ideas as they go into their life forward. Technology is, of course, fascinating. It has provided a lot of solutions, but there are hidden fears and dangers of technology, and therefore one has to be extremely cautious about the use of technology, and also the things that it excludes, the people it excludes, that those people sometimes get forgotten. Thank you very much, PCGT, Mr. Jagade, for a wonderful experience, and hope to continue our collaboration in the future. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mrs. Anna and Mr. Rodrigues, and of course, Mr. Raja, whom we have heard before. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. With this, we end our webinar. The link for feedback form and certificates has been forwarded to WhatsApp. Please do check the WhatsApp link and collect your certificates. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zagde. Thank you, Anna ma'am. Thank you, Raja ma'am, for attending.